What if we could go back in time and manipulate it and do something that could maybe undo a bad thing that we've done in the past? What if we could jump ahead to the future and see what a glimpse of the future brings? I'm John Spade, this is The Egg, and today I'm getting my geek on. It's October the 28th, 2010. And I'm not going to wear my glasses for this whole episode because it's kind of annoying, the glare that I'm getting off my screen. Today I want to talk about, yes, I'm going to go down the road of Nerdsville because what you might not know about me is I am a rather large geek and I love science and ideas, flights of fantasy that have to do with quantum mechanics, quantum theory, the theory of relativity, Einstein, and of course the fantasy that is time travel and being able to go back and forth to see the past, to see the future, to maybe manipulate for your own advantage, similar to Back in the Future. For those of you, and I sort of wonder anybody who hasn't seen Back to the Future, you should go out and get it because the box set is now on sale. It's the 25th anniversary of the release of the first one. So everything kind of coincides. What got me on this topic today was, oh man, I love a good ruse. A video has gone viral on YouTube, and it's a clip from an old Charlie Chaplin film that was done in 1928. And in this clip, and it's an oddity, I'm going to put the clip on the Poster site, obviously. I love this because this is the kind of stuff I actually went and watched the video about 3 or 4 times, and the video that I'm going to put up there, whoever's cut it and edited it and they zoomed in, the person in this video, it's unmistakable that they've got something to their ear and they're chatting, and it looks like they're chatting on a cell phone 80 years into the past. And I think about the laws of the universe and physics, and if we had the ability or we were able to come up with a way to do this, time travel. Einstein theorizes that if we were able to travel 300,000 miles per second, that we would in effect stop time. It would stop. And then to go past that, of course, the clock would start winding backwards. Now, obviously, there's no mass, that could go that fast. We don't have any kind of propulsion system that could send us into that kind of a speed. I told you I was going to be a nerd today. But the constraints on the physical body, it would be impossible for us to do so. So there's ideas that we could actually fold time, actually take it because quantum physics, and sort of there's so many variables to it that you could actually take the physicality of time and fold it in half and go from point A to point B, which would cover hundreds of billions of miles in a matter of seconds, effectively traveling in time. So you got to check out the video. It's one of those things where we live in an era where we could digitally manipulate just about anything, and who's to say that this movie hasn't been altered digitally, because it's up there in that world now. And that hand, I'd love to get my hands on an original copy of the movie to see how it varies from what I'm seeing on YouTube. Anyways, to give you an idea of the geekness that is John Spade, this is Focus Magazine. Comes out once a month. It's from the UK. I literally pee myself to get to the store, down to Chapters, looking for the new one that comes out every month. And for me, it's a tasty investment. Best $12 I can spend because it's good reading from front to back, especially if you like to know the way things work. Anyways, it all ties in with what I'm talking about today as far as time travel goes. Excellent article here on Higgs boson. Rest in peace. They feel with the sort of the advent technology and the large collider that they've created now, that they're getting close to finding what's known as the God particle. And they feel, because the belief is, theoretically anyways, that the God particle is responsible for the creation of all life in the universe, the Big Bang. It explains everything, that potentially if they were able to hold that particle, that they could potentially define just about everything that has to do with the universe, including how we move through it. And are there parallel dimensions going on? Could we pass from one to another? Would that sort of be a form of time travel? It's something to think about. It's possible that this God particle doesn't exist at all. They're spending billions upon billions upon billions of dollars to find out, and you have to wonder about the people that are funding these projects. To what end? There's some say that it could potentially answer all our energy needs for the rest of our existence on this earth. Can it explain time travel? Who's to say that 2,000 years from now, scientists didn't come up with a way to bend time so that we could travel from one era to another? Would this era be significant or interesting enough that somebody would want to come here? And, to think about some person randomly showing up in a Hollywood movie in the 1920s, what would be the appeal? Unless, of course, there's a movie that came out, and maybe I'll bring this up in another egg. I remember watching it, and basically what it was about tourists from the future who would come to the past to see terrible calamity, basically war, or a plane crash, or just terrible. They were time traveling tourists. Who's to say that that's not possible? And it's a relatively cheap form of transportation by then. It's a whole vacation economy. Anyways, something to think about. John Titor, where I'm at, 723. John Titor, I don't know if you know the name. He came to fame, I guess, really at the advent of the internet and chat rooms. This is a guy that shows up one day in IRC chat, and he basically proclaims that he's come from the future and that he's stuck here on Earth in this time frame to do a few things. He's got rather detailed blueprints of the time machine that he came in. Couldn't talk a whole lot about why, the whys and everything, but he was able to, I guess, and we're kind of hitting a time, sorry, my thoughts are scattered. I'm trying to get this all in really quickly. Basically what it was, he comes, he goes, listen, there are things that are going to happen in your future. I can't give you specifics, but I'm telling you that your world is going to change. This is where I came from. And so clever was his whole argument and what he put forth that there was a whole cult of people that bought into it. And I love it. I went to the site. I've seen some of the transcripts from chats that he had talking about, why he was here from the future and what our future was. And what's interesting is coming up here in the next year and a half or so, if he actually was a time traveler and what he was saying was true, is we're going to be thrust into pretty significant dark times, wars, and social economic collapse, and the whole 9 yards. So depending on your train of thought, and if you believe in the ideas that we could potentially travel in time one day, it's interesting conversation around the water cooler. Actually, you could probably alienate some friends if you started talking about this stuff around the water cooler. But me, I don't have those issues. I'm okay if you've already tuned out because the subject matter is a little too dry. I don't know. It's one of those things I've got on my mind. Anyway, some great links. Check out the video of the apparent time traveler in the Charlie Chaplin movie. This is the egg for today. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.